It was like a couple days before the last day of school, so like everyone was pumped because it was almost summer break. My friend, he asked me, he's like, can you bring your vape to school? And I obviously said yes because he was like one of my best friends. Since the vape wasn't mine, I had to grab it from my brother's room. So in the morning, I snitched the vape and put it in my backpack. I took it and I went in the car like, nothing going on here. And I get dropped off and then I go up to the front gate and my friend's already waiting there for me. So then we went into the school and tried finding a place for, like, you know, the vape. Like, the hallways were, like, crowded with supervisors, and the bathroom was the only way. So me and my friend went into the bathroom while my guy friend and his friend stayed outside, and we started vaping. And one of my friends came in and says, what are you guys doing? And I blew the smoke right in her face. And then after that, we left and went into class. Little did I know, the girl that saw me vaping actually went to go snitch on me. So she went up to the office and reported me. So then I was in class and a supervisor comes in the class and goes up to my teacher and talks to her. And then the teacher says, where are you, Roxy? And then I raised my hand and the supervisor came up to my desk and she was like, where are your things? And I told her, these are my things. They weren't really my things. They were my friends' things, because obviously if I said my backpack was mine, the vape was inside of it. I went up to the office walking in with the supervisor, and then I walked into the vice principal's office and she was telling me that I got reported for vaping and that she needed to pat me down and to look into my stuff and everything to make sure if I had the vape or not. So obviously, since this was not my backpack, there was no vape inside. And she got suspicious and asked me to tell her the truth, like, where is the vape? And I told her it's in the classroom, and I told her it was in a backpack. And then they brought my friend up and my backpack, and that's when my friend confessed to saying that my backpack was the one that she had in the backpack I brought up to the office was not my backpack. And that's when the vice principal got really, like, mad and started saying, I cannot trust you anymore. Like, you really disobeyed me. You really lied to me. I'm not able to trust you anymore. So then that's when my friend left and like I was in the office still, and she was like saying she's going to have to email my parents and tell them that they had to come pick me up because I got suspended. So then when I got in the car, I was crying, obviously, and my brother was just ranting at me. And I got home and I got my phone taken away. I got grounded for the whole summer. Just stayed in my house doing nothing. And no phone, so I was just pretty much sitting on the couch drawing or doing whatever. And that definitely taught me a lesson to not bring a vape to school anymore. And yeah, don't.
Oh my god, and we totally jumped off the cliff and had to swim all the way to shore because the dog chased us all the way to the end.
This story has been sponsored by the Art Institutes.
When I was younger, I had a lot of friends, and after school, we would hang out all the time and do a ton of really cool and fun stuff, like go explore the woods and ding-dong ditch people. It was a lot of fun. But when middle school came around, they all started doing a ton of sports and got do a ton of really cool and fun stuff, like go explore the woods and ding-dong ditch people. It was a lot of fun. But when middle school came around, they all started doing a ton of sports and got really, really crazy about it. And I just really hated sports. And so slowly, they just stopped hanging out with me. And every time I tried hanging out, they would all have sports to do. And in school, they would only be talking about sports at lunch and stuff. And I could never add to the conversation. And so I just started, like, on the weekends not hanging out or doing anything because they could never hang out. So I just started playing a ton of Xbox. It got so bad that while I was in school, they would barely even talk to me or say hi in the hallways because they were so occupied with sports, we kind of stopped being friends. One time, I tried inviting them all over for a sleepover so we could have fun again, but they said they couldn't because they all had practice. And then later that night, I saw some post of them hanging out on Instagram, so I guess they just didn't want to hang out with me anymore. So my best friends that I had for my whole life were like nobody anymore, and they just completely forgot about me. I felt completely ignored and so alone. I didn't fit into anything, and I started to feel really bad about myself. I started staying home more and more on the weekends and after school because none of my friends wanted to hang out because they all just kind of forgot about me to do sports. And so I started watching a lot of YouTube, and I started watching a ton of channels that did really cool film stuff and animation and really cool stuff like that. One day I was really bored, so I got the webcam on my computer and started making like stop motions, which is a really cool way of animating with pictures. And I also started doing like live action film stuff by myself in my house. And I started to really like it, and I kind of got good at them. Sometimes I would show my parents them, and they said they were pretty cool and stuff. So my mom signed me up for this program for like film, and I went to it, and it was really awesome because you got to use like really like high quality equipment and really learn about film and get in depth with it, and it was really cool. And there were also a lot of really nice kids there that I became friends with that were all into film. My favorite part is directing the movies we make there, and I feel like I finally found what I love to do. Things haven't changed much for me at school because most of the kids only love sports. Even though I miss my old friends, I'm really glad that I found my passion, something that I really love doing all the time, and I'm really happy now.
We want to thank the Art Institutes for sponsoring this story and supporting our creativity to animate.